Stories of One Life, Episode 9, The Truth Comes Out, Part 1, The Quiet Before the Storm. Daniel sat alone in his car, parked across the street from his old family house. The engine was off, but his hands were still on the wheel. He hadn't been here in 5 years. The house looked the same: white walls, small porch, one light in the window upstairs. But Daniel was not the same. He was 24 now, stronger, quieter, and tired of running from the past. He took a deep breath. "I can do this," he whispered. 5 years ago, he left this town in the middle of the night. No goodbye, no explanation, just silence. People said he was selfish. People said he was weak. People said he didn't care. But the truth was, they never asked him what really happened. Daniel opened the car door and stepped outside. The cold air hit his face. It felt real, honest. He walked slowly toward the house. Every step brought back memories. Him and his mom in the kitchen, laughing, cooking, her voice full of light. And his father, always quiet, always watching. When Daniel reached the door, his heart started beating faster. He knocked. 1 second, 2, 3. The door opened. His mother stood there. She looked older, thinner, but her eyes were the same. They locked eyes. "Daniel," she said softly. He swallowed. "Hi, Mom." For a moment, neither of them moved. Then she covered her mouth with her hand. "Oh my God!" She stepped forward and hugged him, tight, like she was afraid he would disappear again. "I thought you lost me," she whispered. "I'm here now. I'm not leaving." They went inside. The house smelled like coffee and old books. Everything felt frozen in time. They sat at the kitchen table. His mom looked at him, searching his face. "You came back. Why now?" Daniel looked down. "Because I'm tired of hiding, and because the truth needs to come out." Her face changed. "What truth?" Before Daniel could answer, they heard footsteps. Someone was coming down the stairs. His father, Robert. He stopped when he saw Daniel. The room went silent. "Dad?" Daniel said quietly. Robert didn't smile. He didn't speak. He just stared. Then he said cold and slow, "So, you finally decided to show up." Daniel felt the old fear rise in his chest. But this time, he didn't run. "This time, I'm not here to leave. I'm here to tell the truth." Robert crossed his arms. "Then say it." Daniel stood up. His hands were shaking, but his voice was clear. 5 years ago, I didn't leave because I was weak. I left because I found out something you never wanted me to know." His mother looked confused. "What are you talking about?" Daniel looked at both of them and said the words that changed everything. "I know who my real father is." The room froze. Part 2. The Truth Breaks the Silence. No one spoke. The clock on the wall ticked. Tick, tick, tick. Daniel's words hung in the air like smoke. "I know who my real father is." His mother's face turned pale. What did you say?" she whispered. Robert's jaw tightened. His eyes burned. "That's not true," he said. But Daniel shook his head. "It is." He took a slow breath. "I didn't want to believe it at first.
I tried to ignore it, but then I saw the papers, the old letters, the hospital records. His mother stood up. "Daniel, stop," she said. "Please." But he couldn't stop now. 5 years ago, I was cleaning the attic. I found a box. Your name was on it, Mom. She closed her eyes. Daniel continued. Inside were letters from a man named Michael Carter. Robert looked away. Daniel's voice got stronger. He wrote to you before I was born. He wrote about you, about love, about mistakes, about me. His mother sat back down slowly. Tears filled her eyes. You were never supposed to find that, she said. But I did, Daniel answered, and when I read them, everything made sense. Robert finally spoke. So what? He said. I raised you. That's what matters. Daniel turned to him. I know, and I'm grateful for that. You were there. You worked hard. You paid for my school. You showed up. Robert's face softened for a second. But, Daniel continued, you also lied to me, my whole life. Silence again. His mother wiped her eyes. Michael and I were young. We made a mistake. I got pregnant. He wanted to leave town with me. Daniel looked at her. And you didn't go. She shook her head. I was scared. And Robert, he was stable, kind, safe. Robert said nothing. So you chose him? Daniel said. Yes, she whispered. Daniel's voice broke. And you never told me the truth? She looked at him with pain. I wanted to protect you. Daniel shook his head. You didn't protect me. You took my choice. He walked to the window and looked outside. For years, I felt like something was wrong with me, like I didn't belong, like I was pretending to be someone else. He turned back to them. And when I found out the truth, I couldn't breathe in this house anymore. His mother stood and walked toward him. I'm sorry. I was afraid to lose you. Daniel looked at her. You already did. That hit hard. She stopped. Robert finally spoke again. So what do you want now? He asked. Daniel met his eyes. I want honesty. No more lies, no more pretending. He took another breath. And I want to meet him. His mother gasped. Michael? Yes. Robert laughed bitterly. You think that will fix you? Daniel answered calmly. I don't know, but I know staying in the dark won't. His mother sat down again. He lives in Oregon now, she said quietly. Daniel froze. You know where he is? She nodded. I never stopped thinking about him. Daniel felt something new in his chest. Not anger, not fear. Hope. Then I'm going to see him, Daniel said. Robert stood up. You walk out that door again, don't expect things to be the same. Daniel looked at him. They already aren't. The room was heavy with emotion, but for the first time in years, Daniel felt free.
2 weeks later, Daniel stood in front of a small cafe in a quiet town in Oregon. It was early morning. The sky was soft gray. The air smelled like rain and coffee. His heart was beating fast. Inside that cafe was the man who shared his blood, Michael Carter. Daniel pushed the door open. A bell rang softly. He stepped inside. The cafe was warm, wooden tables,
soft music, only a few people inside. Then he saw him, a man in his late 50s, gray hair, kind eyes, sitting alone with a cup of coffee and a book. Daniel stopped. That's him, he thought. For a moment, he almost turned around, but then he remembered everything. The lies, the silence, the years of not knowing who he was. So he walked forward, slowly. Michael looked up. Their eyes met. Something changed in his face. "Can I help you?" Michael asked. Daniel swallowed. "My name is Daniel." Michael nodded. "Nice to meet you, Daniel." Daniel stood there. Then he said it. "I think I'm your son." The world stopped. Michael's hand froze on his cup. "What did you say?" he whispered. Daniel took a breath. "My mom is Sarah. You wrote her letters before I was born." Michael's eyes filled with tears. He stood up slowly. "Oh God," he said. "Daniel?" Daniel nodded. "Yes." Michael stepped closer. "I always wondered," he said. "I always hoped." He touched Daniel's shoulder. "You look like her." Daniel smiled through tears. They sat down. For hours. They talked about everything, about the past, about mistakes, about fear, about love. Michael said, "I wanted to be there, but I didn't know how to fight hard enough." Daniel answered, "I just wanted to know who I am." When Daniel left the cafe, the sky was bright. The rain had stopped. He felt light, not because everything was perfect, but because the truth was finally out, and the truth set him free. If you liked this part of the story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow the channel to find out what happens next in Stories of One Life.